Gdisk was a piece of software saved to a floppy disk and run on your computer's boot up to format your hard disk drive, which my dad used to run a computer shop back in the day, and this is what this Gdisk floppy disk is from. But this floppy disk is unfortunately starting to fail, so I've downloaded Power ISO and I clicked on Tools and Make Floppy Disk Image File, and I saved it to the destination file I wanted it to save it to, and I highlighted floppy drive B, and then I saved it. Then it copied the files from this floppy disk into a image file. Then once I got myself another floppy disk, I clicked on Tools, Write Floppy Disk Image, selected floppy drive B or A. In some cases, you must make sure you click on your floppy drive, then you click on that, then you click on your image file, then OK, then it should write to your floppy disk and make it bootable. It's basically a Windows 98 boot disk but modified. Be extremely careful when using Gdisk, as once you've run it and it's completed, your data cannot be undone. Alright? Then you click Tools, open your file and write it to floppy. If you want a copy, send me a PM on YouTube with your email and saying that you want it, then you can download it, alright? And then get a spare floppy disk and a floppy drive. If you don't have a floppy drive, you can still buy USB floppy drives first hand on YouTube. I mean eBay or Amazon or anywhere on Google. So have a route around, buy a floppy drive, wait for that to be delivered, then write it using Power ISO for free. Power ISO is a free piece of software. Then you write it to floppy, then I would recommend you make backups from your new original floppy in case your original fails. You've got a backup. Create a few backups. In my case, I've created 4 backups just in case, because floppy disks can fail. So yeah, then Gdisk is very good. This is from my dad's days of when he used to work in a computer shop, 2006, but I've edited the batch file on the Gdisk batch file. Alright, it's inserted. Right, so I need to go into File Explorer, floppy drive B. This one's starting to fail by its clicking. Right click, highlight, right click, edit. It will open Notepad, because Notepad can be a code editor or writer for VBAS scripts or batch files, and I edited this bit. I edited do not remove the floppy disk. I added disk because it said originally do not remove the floppy, so I added do not remove the floppy disk or drive, then in brackets if drive is USB powered, alright, because you don't want to unplug your floppy drive, because I'm not sure, but I think it would corrupt your hard drive, but I wouldn't recommend you unplug it. Alright, it's a really good piece of software. I've used it many times. I would recommend you run Gdisk on used computers, because there can be viruses, inappropriate stuff on there, and reinstall Windows if you've got a Windows installation disk. If you haven't, go to Techie and get Windows 10. I got my Windows 10 Professional for £29 for really cheap. It's an OEM version, and I couldn't afford it from other websites because it was very expensive. It was hundreds and hundreds of pounds. So I thought, then I found Techie and I managed to get it for £29 on a OEM installation disc. Alright, then you reinstall Windows. Do not run Gdisk unless you've got all the things you need. If you don't have a floppy drive, you can still get USB floppy drives. I've just checked on Amazon. Have a route round Amazon, eBay, round Google. Just search for USB floppy drives. Alright? Because you can still get them. Wait for everything to be delivered before you run Gdisk, even your Windows installation and your floppy drive, or otherwise you'll be stuck at saving your image, Gdisk image, to a spare floppy disk. If you don't have a spare floppy disk, or you don't have any floppy disks, just search on Amazon floppy disks, because you can get them for very, very, very cheap. Because I've looked and you can still get them for very cheap. Alright? It's usually unformatted, which I don't know what that means. If you know in the comment section, if you know, please leave a comment saying what it means. I hope you found this video helpful, and that's the end of my video.